Welcome back, everybody, to the Fantasy Hockey Hacks live on Edmonton Sports Talk. I'm Devin Davidson, your host. With me, as always, Bruce Gunther.
Good evening.
Our man, Tyler Holman. How you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. You know what? For the first time probably ever, you were ready to go, and I didn't send you a link. So
I was just hanging out here by myself.
Sorry, boys. Here we are on the Hacks Hangout Wednesday night, missing what is so far a pretty putrid effort from the Edmonton Oilers.
Yikes.
Oh, boy. I should mention before we get too far along here that we are a proud member of the Heavy Hockey Network. If you want to, make sure you head over to the YouTube channel at Heavy Hockey, subscribe, and don't miss Oilers Live Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Mountain Time. Of course, obviously we're running on Wednesday nights. And then throughout the regular season, we are going to be releasing our Sunday night episode, so make sure you subscribe on your podcast directory of choice. And if you want to follow us on social media at FH Hacks, we're on Threads, we're on Instagram, and then of course you can check us out on our website, fantasyhockeyhacks.com. Tonight is another all hacks affair, which we always enjoy, so no worries there. But we're going to have another guest lined up for next week. Things are just a little hectic with the Thanksgiving weekend, and so here we are. Tonight, we're going to go over Hacks highlights and Ask the Hacks, and we may have a couple topics we can dive into if you have some time later on in the show, but there's a lot of stuff to cover here, guys, in terms of news from around the league. So let's start with the Edmonton Oilers. Before you guys start flying off the handle for tonight's game, there's a couple small pieces of news here we want to talk about. So on Sunday, the Oilers did waive Raphael Lavoie, Lane Peterson, and Ben Gleason. There's a lot of sentiment online that those guys, or at least a couple of them, had potentially earned spots on the roster. Obviously, guys like Desharnais and others are ahead of them. So, and they cleared anyway. So I guess at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Jack Campbell, we were all jacked about Jack, and here he is. Are they still just down 2 goals? Because I'm a little bit behind on the game right now.
Yeah, it's still 2-0. They're into the intermission now.
I'm going to say this. That pass from Pettersson to Garland
Was very nice.
pretty nice.
Very nice.
Filthy.
You can't pass a puck better than that. It was crazy.
No.
So
And even Garland's hands in tight there to forehand backhand that and still get it over the pad. It's great. None of the goals, the first 2, are really Campbell's fault. Boeser's shot was a snipe, put it right in a tight window, and that pass was insane. So not a good start though.
Not a good start. No. Yeah, I totally agree, Tyler. I'm not mad at Campbell for either one of those goals, but pretty nice plays from the Canucks. I was really interested to hear Draisaitl talk about the Canucks a few weeks ago when he did his interview with 32 Thoughts, and he was complimenting the Canucks and saying how they've got a lot of the pieces you look for in a very competitive hockey club. And here we are down 2-0, right? Like some of those guys, Boeser, we knew or we expected a bit of a bounce back season. I'll say I grabbed him in fantasy in at least one league, and that's paying off just fine. Quinn Hughes, I think we kind of know what he is, and Bruce, I know you love you some Pettersson.
I do. I love him, but Tyler took him at 4th overall, and I just wasn't willing to do that. So
not intentional either, hey Tyler?
No, that wasn't the best thing I've ever done.
That's okay. But hey, contract year, like you said, probably gonna have a good season.
He's got points already.
Yeah, I hope so at 4th overall.
All right. I guess Mattias Ekholm not playing tonight. Are we concerned at this point? Like I had some concern a few days ago. The fact that he's not playing again tonight, not ideal. Is this going to be a season-long issue?
I don't think so. If they take their time with it, I'd rather have him for the last 60 games than the first 20. So
Exactly.
Yep.
I'm not too worried.
Now, if he misses the first 60 and plays the last 20, that could be a bit of an issue, but
Yeah, we might have a problem.
might have a problem.
Oh, boy. We got some comments here from some stranger. I just don't see any improvement on defense. Same old. Jack is fine. Lucky bounce. Yeah. So there you have it. So if anyone, if you want to chime in, feel free. Join us on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/heavyhockey. And we're happy to get you in here. We are, like I said, going to go through Ask the Hacks. We get some questions tonight. Should be fun to answer. All right, so anything else on the Oilers you guys want to talk about quick? No.
I don't think so.
Pretty scrambly defensive zone coverage in that first period. Pathetic. Hopefully the second's better. Vancouver is up 3-0 last year in the home opener, so
Yep.
there's still lots of time, but didn't look very good in the first period.
We've got them right where we want them, eh, Tyler?
I guess.
Overconfident. Got him right where we want him.
Got them right where we want them. All right, let's move on here to Hacks highlights around the league. I wanted to start with Connor Bedard. He has looked pretty much as advertised. Through 2 games, 21-36 time on ice per game, 1 goal, 1 assist, 11 shots, 18 individual Corsi for, 11 individual scoring chances for, 7 high danger scoring chances for, 451 power play time on ice, which equates to a 69% power play share, Tyler. And he went at an average draft position of 33.4 in Yahoo and 45.91 in Fantrax. My question to you guys, Tyler, I'll go with you first. Does he look like he's going to pay off for those of us that gambled on him in the 4th to 5th round?
I think so. I think like 11 shot attempts.
In 2 games.
Yeah, I think that was in just the first game.
18 shot attempts, 11 shots on goal in 2 games.
Yeah. That toe drag to bring it into his feet and snap it. Like, they're eventually going to pay off. I know he scored tonight on a wraparound of all things, but he's definitely going to score some goals. I know one guy in one of our leagues took him pretty early.
Me.
Pretty early. So I don't know if I would have did that, but I think he's going to pay off. I think he's going to score a lot of goals this year.
Well, like a complete noob, I took him at that Yahoo ADP of around 35, so it was a gamble for sure. But you know what? There's some people out there, Dauber's one of them, thinks he could score 90 points this year. I'm not that high on him. Like Bruce, we've talked about in the summer.
Yeah.
Our prediction was 42 goals and 72 or 74 points, I think.
Yeah. Well, he's not too far off. He's on an 82-point pace right now, so he's not too far off from 90.
There you go. Plus, he's just going to be fun to watch. And Tyler, I know you're a fan of taking players that you just like sometimes. So,
yeah, hasn't won me anything doing it, but I definitely do that. I don't know who he's going to play with though, because I think Taylor Hall spent more time laying on the ice than he did actually playing in that first game. I wasn't able to watch the second one, but
he didn't know. He only made it to the first period of the second one. He's out. I think we talk about it a little bit later, but he's week to week out injury.
It's crazy. Like being an Oilers fan and watching Taylor Hall here and then him leaving and not watching as much, how much that guy falls down.
So much. Per 60, his fall down per 60 is massive.
Leads the league.
Is that the next advanced stat NHL's gonna keep track of? How many times each player falls down per game per 60?
Devin's probably gonna keep track of it.
Just for fun. That might be the new thing. Yeah. Fall on your butt per 60. Hall played 7-16 in the second game here, and now he's week to week, according to head coach Luke Richardson. So not ideal, but they've got some other young guys who will just have to step up.
Looks like I'm looking for a new left winger for my own team.
Yeah, that was my other point. Condolences to anyone that stepped up and took Taylor Hall. Where'd you take him, Bruce? I can't remember.
In this draft, I think dead last. I think he was one of my last picks, so I'm not really too concerned about it. He was the last forward. He was the last forward I took. So yeah, he's.
Well, he did play 20 minutes and 44 seconds in game 1, almost 5 minutes on the power play. He was going to get good deployment if he could just stay healthy, but I think that was always a bit of the concern with him going into this season, was if he was going to stay healthy or not.
He managed to make it through one game.
Sure did. So I'm excited about Bedard. Looks pretty good. Should be fun to watch.
Looks really good so far. Other than Marchand angling him all over the ice there. Let's go for a ride to the bench, Connor. Sorry, wrong bench.
Wrong bench. How about Auston Matthews? I want to talk about that guy tonight, as much as that might pain Tyler and some of our listeners on the show. But
I loved it.
I mean, as a hockey fan, even if you don't like the Leafs, this guy has a real propensity for showing up in the season opener and scoring 3 or 4 goals. So 3 goals tonight, 1 on the power play, 8 shots on goal, 11 individual Corsi 4, 9 individual scoring chances, 5 high danger scoring chances, 3 hits, 24 and a half minutes time on ice, 4:43 power play time on ice, 85.5% power play share.
Very nice.
Tyler, did you grab him in one league, or is that you, Bruce?
I did.
Yeah.
Yahoo League, he was my first overall pick.
4th overall? Like
Yeah.
your 4th overall? Yeah.
It was my first round pick, but I think it was 4th overall. Yeah.
Probably about where he should have been taken, I'd say.
Yep. It was either him or Jack Hughes, and I went Matthews.
Looks to have paid off early, Bruce. Good job, buddy.
Not too bad.
Tyler, anything else? Any other compliments you want to pay Auston Matthews before we move on?
I got nothing.
You got nothing. Okay. Well, Tyler, how about Owen Power signs a 7-year, $58.4 million contract extension, an $8.35 million AAV with the Buffalo Sabres. What do you think?
I don't know. It's a lot for a contract for him to kind of grow into. Really, I mean, maybe they saved themselves $1 million a season by signing him right now. I think if they bridge them, it's probably not going to be too much over 9 at any point. So I don't know. They've got their whole core locked up. So this is kind of what they're going with. So hopefully it works out for them.
Yeah, I look at him and I go, that guy's always going to be stuck behind Rasmus Dahlin on the power play. So from a fantasy perspective, I don't know that I ever have a ton of interest in Owen Power, as good as he may be. And yeah, it's 8.35 will look fine in a couple of years probably, right? But it seems a little steep. It seems like a lot of these young guys are getting a lot of money for not having accomplished a whole lot.
Yeah, and I think if you look at it too, like they didn't save that much by signing him to this right now. So, yeah. I mean, he plays lots of 5-on-5. So I mean, you're going to get lots of stats there in his 5-on-5 play, playing 23 minutes, but he's stuck behind Dahlin, so not a lot of power play time.
The other guy I want to talk about here was Cam Talbot. I feel like we called that one, boys. We said it.
Woof. That's all I have to say. I hope he plays well, because he wouldn't have been my first choice to start. But
between him and Copley, I think, to me, it was a pretty obvious decision.
I agree.
Yeah, like you said, there's his relationship with McCullough and that that's where it was going to go. But I would have given Copley a little rope at the beginning of the season, because he did great for them, and then they brought in Korpisalo and kind of shoved him aside, and I'd like to see him get another shot.
I see Nathan McKinnon already scored on one of the 9 shots the Avs have put on goal. So maybe not the best start for Talbot, but it's also the Avs, I guess. So don't panic too much. Yeah, there you go. All right, Sam Bennett, doubtful for the season opener at the Minnesota Wild on Thursday because of a lower body injury. Head coach Paul Maurice said, I would list him as longer than day-to-day. He's doubtful for the opener. I would say he misses a couple of weeks. He played 9:43 and did not have a point in a 6-3 preseason win against Tampa. He had 3 points in 3 preseason games. So, I don't know. Florida's dealing with a ton of injuries right now. But it looks good for a guy we talked about last night, Evan Rodriguez. Going to get some playing time with some key personnel out of the lineup.
Lots of good playing time. Hopefully he makes the most of it.
Well, I'm sure we'll find out tomorrow. But yeah, playing next to Barkov and Verhaeghe, and then on Power Play 1. If you haven't listened to last night's episode, go give it a listen. We talked about Rodriguez and a number of different guys. The other one, actually, we talked about, and Tyler, I noticed you picked him up today, Ryan O'Reilly. And I knew you were going to do it. The way you were talking last night, I knew you were going after Ryan O'Reilly, 100%.
I actually forgot about it, and then I remembered this afternoon. So, I think, like, the guy that I don't even remember who I dropped for him.
Kako.
Yeah. I'm sure I can pick him up almost whenever I want to. So
Sure. Yeah.
I don't think Ryan O'Reilly's going to be hanging around on a waiver wire for too long.
Oh, probably not.
It's pretty surprising, actually. 17% rostered in Yahoo and just 51% in Fantrax. Like it's pretty low, and I think he's going to have a better season here in Nashville than people expect.
Oh, pretty low considering first line center, power play, penalty kill. He's going to do everything. So the points are just going to happen just on deployment.
Yeah. And with good players like Roman Josi is one of the he's a no worse than the third best defenseman in terms of fantasy hockey.
Yeah.
So he's going to put up some points with that guy, Filip Forsberg. Yeah, he'll get his points. Shane Wright, the number 4 pick in the 2022 NHL draft, was assigned to Coachella Valley of the American Hockey League on Saturday. The Kraken received a special exemption allowing them to send the 19-year-old forward to the AHL instead of back to Windsor. Probably a good thing for his development, I would say.
I don't know if there's much more he could have done in Windsor. He went after they sent him down last year. He crushed it down there. So I think he's done pretty much everything he can do there.
Head coach Dave Haxtell said, "We see advancements in each part of his game. He's played each of the 4 available preseason games. We put him into different situations. A couple of games where he's been higher up in the lineup. A couple of games where he's had a depth role in the lineup." Wright had 2 assists in 4 preseason games with Seattle, 2 points in 8 games for the Kraken last season, and 6 points in 8 games for Coachella Valley. Helped Canada win a gold medal at the IIHF World Junior Championship. So he'll get there eventually, but too much depth in Seattle right now. Who actually got crushed by Vegas last night. Speaking of which.
Yeah, Grubauer didn't look that good.
He did not. Well, Tyler, to your point the other night, you said he was garbage in preseason, and that seems to have carried over. Yep.
Yeah.
You see that banner raising, though?
No, I try to avoid anything Vegas Golden Knights related.
That's not part of it.
Banner raising was pretty cool.
That was pretty cool.
They do that stuff pretty well.
They annoy me. It's too much. It's over the top. Everything they do is over the top.
It's Vegas.
I know, man. I can't get on board with it now that like I just hate that roster so much.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And then Brett Howden last night. That was kind of a bonehead hit.
Yeah, that wasn't even close. Like, just greasy. Yeah.
Well, you watch the hit, right? So Tanev is bent over. Howden just kind of sails over, and it's like it just comes right over top of him, right? And he goes to make the hit. The only thing left is a hit is his head because Tanev's down and Howden's up. So what else are you gonna hit? Like, you're not gonna catch him on the shoulder. Catches him on the head, and away he goes. Well,
and then Tanev's knee looked pretty rough after. Like, just the way his ankle and his knee, the way it bent back was ugly. So
I wasn't watching. I'll have to go back and watch it.
Yeah, not ideal. But I guess from that I took Jonathan Marchessault looked pretty good. I did draft him in fantasy this year, and Aiden Hill, who I think we've kind of been beating that drum all summer. He looked really good. But they did say during the broadcast that it looks like it's probably going to be, like they have a rotation set for October already, and it's going to be a 50-50 or a 60-40 split.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Because both of them are fantastic goalies, so might as well use them both.
They are. And so I went out and I actually picked up Logan Thompson today I think it was in our Experts League, Bruce, where we play with Nate and the guys from Apples and Genos, because we only had 2 goaltenders. I think we had Jari and Ottinger. So I went and picked up Logan Thompson too, just knowing that he's going to get a handful of games every month.
Absolutely. Every little bit helps.
Yeah. Oh my God. Did Brock Boeser just score again?
Yep. Yeah. Right where we want him. Same as last year. 3-0.
I mean, I'm going to say I do have Brock Boeser on my ESPN lineup, so this is one of those classic fantasy situations. Like, I hate what's happening, but wow. Let's move on. How about Connor Hellebuyck and Mark Scheifele signing identical 7-year contracts worth $8.5 million per season? Hellebuck's been one of the best goaltenders in the league for the last, 5 years?
Absolutely. He's worth every penny.
Mark Scheifele, how many goals did he score last year? 40?
42, I think.
42 goals last year. I did read again, Sportsnet 32 Thoughts, that part of his decision was it Dale Hawerchuk and just some of the influence he had on him in his time in Winnipeg.
Yeah. Coached him in juniors, and then they reconnected a bit again in Winnipeg. And
yeah, but I really like. Did either of you guys see that contract happening?
No, I
Not
think
at
it's
all.
weird. I think it's weird. I don't know how you would replace those two players, so I can see why they would want to sign them. I'm just surprised that the players signed more than anything else, but
Yeah, I would agree. Like we said last night, Hellebuyck could have gotten that money pretty much anywhere had he waited
think?
till free agency. Well, I mean, within reason, I think.
I don't think he would have got 8. I don't think any team would have signed him to $8.5 million.
I think they would have.
I think there's a few, Bruce.
I think teams, if you're missing piece, especially with the lack of like elite goaltenders, they would find room and they would make it happen and they would sign them.
Like if I'm looking around the league, Montreal, that really doesn't have a goalie. Like I don't know the contract situations there for either guy, but if you're Montreal, could you make that work?
Oh yeah, they got Carey Price's LTIR for how many more years? So they can make that work for a while.
What about like LA? So you signed Talbot to a 1-year deal. You get Talbot and Copley there. Who else here? I mean, Columbus. Columbus could use a goaltender.
Trade Dubois back for Hellebuyck.
That's not happening. 0% chance.
I think New Jersey would be the team, but obviously not anymore. Columbus would be another team. It'd have to be a team that would be close to winning. So obviously Columbus probably not quite included, but an American team.
Arizona, I think if they take a step this year.
Yep, I like Arizona. I think Anaheim. Like they're not close to winning, Tyler, but
well, they've pretty much just about killed Gibson every year. Like I'm surprised he's still alive. Like the guy must have nightmares about pucks. Like really.
Oh, I'm sure.
The defense is terrible, and you're seeing 30-some shots a night. You're probably seeing them in his sleep.
Yeah, I guess the point being there is there's a few teams that could use a goaltender, and
possibly Seattle.
I was just thinking that, if Grubauer's going to keep swirling down the drain, that's probably an option there too. So anyway, and then Mark Scheifele, just strange, the whole situation.
Yeah, it's very, very weird because no one expected it. Not even the usual guys that come out like Dreger and Saravelli. Well, this and that, they were all caught off guard too, so it must have happened really fast.
Yeah, and I guess Cheveldayoff said they're going to try and win. Like they're dead set on trying to win in Winnipeg. And Bonus said, we need Scheifele, we need Hellebuyck. They're going to make me look better. So here we are.
Well, yeah, because you look at the pieces they got from the Chytil Dubois away. They're not pieces to rebuild or retool. That's more of a win now thing than anything.
Mm-hmm. All right. Speaking of Anaheim, actually, Leo Carlsson, second overall pick from this year's draft, was injured during practice last Friday. Lost an edge while skating, crashed in the boards, could not put pressure on his right skate afterwards, and he wasn't on the ice for Tuesday's morning skate and is currently on injured reserve, listed as day-to-day. But I had heard from a couple different sources that he may actually start at center with Zegras moving to the wing and Troy Terry.
Nice. That'd be a nice look. Well, Anaheim's going to be trash again this year anyway, so you might as well try him out in different spots.
Yep. But and that's why
I think size-wise it makes sense for him to be in the middle and not Zegras. Probably give Zegras a little bit more room on the walls with the puck. God, it's 4-0.
You can just turn it off, Tyler. There's just probably no point in watching it at this point. Woof. I'm so glad we're on Edmonton Sports Talk talking about the Oilers as they're losing 4-0 in the opener to Vancouver. This is great.
Boeser got another one.
Got a hat trick
actually?
now.
Wow. 2 hat tricks. There you go.
Hilarious.
That's brutal. Let's not talk about it. Casey Middlestat, Sabres forward, tweaked an upper body issue on Monday. Officially day-to-day. Fortunately, sounds like he'll be fine. Expected to practice Wednesday. Should be available for Thursday's season opener against the Rangers. Jacob Pelche for the Calgary Flames, first-round pick, suffered a shoulder injury during preseason action and recently underwent shoulder surgery. He's going to be sidelined long-term. This one here is going to be applicable. Stuart Skinner in relief. This is just bad. This is just a bad narrative for the Edmonton Oilers to start the season. This is so bad.
That one went off his foot. It was a cross-ice pass that went off his leg and went in. This isn't about Campbell. It's trying to get them to maybe do something. But good start. It's a good start.
It's a good start. Yeah. Maybe they'll wake up after this.
Maybe.
Well, it's a good thing we're going to take a break here in about 3 minutes, Bruce, so I can go throw up.
And we all need it. We all need it.
Well, I'm just gonna. So I should just panic trade my Oilers away.
Well, I'm sure glad that I drafted Connor McDavid for them to just lay an egg in this first game. It's great.
I know, right? I'm sure Tyler would take him off your hands. They'll trade you Pedersen for him.
Don't give him any ideas.
No, I won't.
I was going to mention Andrei Svechnikov. He's still working his way back from a knee surgery that he had back in March. He's skating with his teammates, but not taking contact just yet. Wasn't available for Tuesday's opener against the Sens. Or was that tonight? That was tonight, sorry. And probably won't travel with the team on their 5-game road trip out west. So still kind of working his way back into things. And actually, I mentioned this because we're going to talk about him in our Ask the Hack segment. We had a question about Svechnikov specifically. So Pavel Francouz's reports indicate that he hasn't fully recovered from an off-season abductor surgery. Recently placed on long-term injured reserve. What else? Rupe Hintz practiced with the team on Monday, but wasn't taking any contact. He's expected to practice again on Wednesday, and they'll see where he's at for Thursday's opener against the St. Louis Blues. I really like Rupe Hintz, but he seems to really struggle to stay healthy.
He seemed to be better last year, and then I don't know what happened this year. Is it preseason or was it before the season, or I'm not sure what all happened there. But yeah, you said he has a little trouble staying healthy.
Well, he did play 80 games last season, 73 last season, 80 the year before that. So
that's better.
Could be exaggerating a little bit, but hopefully he's fine. I'm really fingers crossed. I did draft him this year, hoping for 100-point upside, but we'll see where it goes. What else we got? We're coming up to the break here. Wyatt Johnson, speaking of the Dallas Stars, underwent a non-surgical procedure for a minor upper body injury. Full participant in Tuesday's practice, so they expect he'll be in the lineup for Game 1 against St. Louis as well. We already talked about Mattias Ekholm. Victor Arvidsson, Kings forward, is officially day-to-day with a lower body injury. And after this morning skate on Wednesday, McLeod said that Arvidsson would miss the first 2 games of the season. Jared Spurgeon, officially week-to-week with an upper body injury. And with that, we're going to take a break. We'll see you guys in a couple minutes. All right, back to some news. Oh, yeah, Draisaitl going back. Okay, there we go.
Cut one.
What were you worried about, Bruce?
Worried about what?
Yeah, exactly.
Everything.
Everything's fine. The dumpster fire burns behind you. Everything's fine.
Yeah. All I could think in my mind was that meme from the Waterboy. We suck again, right? That's just Rob Schneider in my head right now. Eric Haula was on the ice for Wednesday's practice. A good sign. He'll be available for Thursday's opener against Detroit. See where he goes. Filip, 24-year-old center, is healthy and available for Thursday's season opener against the Sabres. They took an overly cautious approach with the upper body injury Chytil dealt with during preseason. Sounds like he is absolutely fine, though. And then Josh Norris. I mean, this guy can't stay healthy to save his life. But according to Coach DJ Smith, Norris isn't expected to go on LTIR. They're really avoiding it at all costs. So to me, it indicates that it'll basically be the 10 days, right, Bruce, as opposed to LTIR.
I would think so. Well, and they're going to be careful with him, right? They're not going to rush him back into the lineup. They're going to make sure that I'm guessing he's at least 100% before they put him back in the lineup. It's the beginning of the season. They went last season without him, and now they started this season without him. But you got to be careful, because you put him out there too early and he ruins it again. Then that's what 2 years in a row shoulder issue. Yeah, you got to be careful with him.
Yeah, and after losing 5-3 to Carolina tonight, they're definitely missing some of that depth down the middle.
Definitely.
So we'll see where he goes. Again, that's one of the questions we had here for Ask the Hack. So something to consider. And speaking of which, I think it's pretty much time to jump into it. We got quite a few questions here tonight. So this will probably be how we'll wrap up the show tonight. We're not doing a full hour and a half this evening, just coming off the long weekend. Tyler didn't have as much time to prep, so his melon's not quite as full of fantasy hockey knowledge as it usually is. So we'll get
big problem. I spent a lot of time doing prep, so this weekend took a lot out of me. So sorry about that, guys.
I know. Yeah. No, hey, we're gonna let it slide. It happens sometimes. Don't worry about it. All right, where'd my notes go? First question here we got is from our buddy Jordan Scheifele, who plays with us in our FHHL league. Is this trade veto-worthy? Alexander Barkov, Alex Pietrangelo, and Sergei Bobrovsky in exchange for John Klingberg, Michael Backlund, and Linus Ullmark. Tyler, I'm going to go to you first, because you commission our ESPN league. You've had opinions on the past on trades and vetoes and stuff like that. I've got my own opinion on this trade, but what's your take on it?
Well, if you were making the trade, I would definitely veto it.
I know you would. That's kind of why I asked you, but
for really no reason at all. But Barkov's the best player here. Pietrangelo, I don't know why this guy would make that trade to trade them away. I don't see the upside in what you're getting back. I know Klingberg playing on the power play. I don't think that's actually going to last all season. I think Toronto is probably at some point. I watched a lot of that game tonight. I think they're going to get tired at some point of what he does when he doesn't play on the power play. And I don't think it's going to be quite the season that they thought they were signing him for. Backlund's a third line center. He's going to have a decent season, but yeah, I would probably veto it, especially if it was Devin or his brother or anyone closely related to him.
All right, Bruce, give us your breakdown of that trade. I'm curious to hear what you think.
I would probably veto it too. I'm just wondering if the reason why it's that is, are they thinking that Ullmark is going to repeat last year? And that's what the trade is based off of? Because if you take Ullmark of last year, then it balances a bit better, but that's the only reason why I could think that they would want to do this trade, because Barkov and Pietrangelo for Klingberg and Backlund is like trading. No, you can't do that. It's not even close.
That's really the only maybe glimmer in this entire trade is Ullmark. But I really think, like, in my opinion, and I think we've talked about this lots, Ullmark's not going to be anywhere close to what he was last season.
No, I don't think so. If he does, fantastic, but I just don't see it either. I can't see them repeating that.
Like, I don't think you can bank on that for the purposes of this trade. And I will say, Tyler, John Klingberg had a good game tonight. Like, he, 2 assists, plus two hits, point on the power play. He played almost 5 minutes on the power play, 88% power play share, just about 25 minutes time on ice. He did everything you'd expect for him to do. I don't know what Riley's stats look like in comparison, but for anyone that grabbed Klingberg, I think you feel pretty good about what you saw tonight.
Yeah, I think so. I just don't see it lasting. Like, he in the defensive zone, he's awful. Hopefully, like if you're just going to play him on the power play, then fine. But the other thing is he didn't really have anything to do with any of their power play working tonight when you watch the game. But having a right shot rather than having Reichel there is probably what they want. But I mean, it was a good first game. I just don't see it lasting the whole season.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's one game, right? So we can't get too amped up about it. But he did play more time than Morgan Rielly did overall as well. So I'm very curious to see how that shakes out. And I think based on where you got Morgan, or not Morgan Rielly, but John Klingberg, you're probably quite happy. Now, I think, Tyler, you've been a Morgan Rielly guy too, and so you're probably banking on him having some staying power long term.
Yeah, I'm not super confident in it, but I've taken him pretty much every year. And maybe that's just me more hoping that Rielly kind of takes that back over. But yeah.
I just think that's the only reason you bring John Klingberg in, honestly, is to run that power play. But which, to me, just kind of keeps Rielly fresh for 5-on-5 and your penalty kill. So, yeah. But in terms of this trade, Barkov has 100-point upside. Pietrangelo, 50 points probably in his sleep. Bobrovsky, probably going to have a rough start to the year, but could have a good finish. Backlund and Klingberg, whatever. For me, it's a pretty suspect trade. I don't like this trade. I would vote to veto it. I don't know if as a commissioner, I would just outright veto it, but I would for sure put it out there as a vote. This one is from Gringo Golfer. What are your thoughts on Josh Norris this year? Basically, what I'll say is, I saw that, Tyler. We don't need to talk about it anymore, do we? No, it's fine. It's fine. You know what? Maybe we'll get like an influx of listeners now and people on the YouTube channel just because the Oilers are so freaking terrible.
I doubt
it. Probably not. But I mean, at least they give up on the game.
Fantasy team, though.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. I guess.
Yeah. Take some solace in that, buddy. Josh Norris. Look, he's a good player. Can't stay healthy. He's got a grand total of 133 games played since 2019. He was a first rounder in 2017. 35 goals, and he played at a 68-point pace in 66 games in 2021, 2022. Shot rate isn't that great. I think probably, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong, but I think there's probably some equal or better fantasy assets on the waiver wire, depending on the league you're playing in.
Tyler picked him up yesterday. Ryan O'Reilly.
Yeah.
Thomas Novak. Also from the Predators.
Mm-hmm.
Be available. Yeah, I think there's lots of good options out there. I wouldn't, unless you've got an injury placement and you really, really want Norris and you've got a place you can stash him there. Otherwise, I would just run away.
Yeah, I would do the same thing. I mean, it all depends on how many IR spots you have available to use throughout the season. But I think even using that spot to stream somebody would be better than trying to hold a spot for him.
Yeah, I would agree. I think you could, if you wanted to be patient, if like you said, Bruce, if you really like that player, you could just wait and see where it is. They're not putting him on LTIR, so he's not going to be the 10 days or whatever it is.
24.
24 and 10 games.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So it'll be sooner than that. You could just, if you had IR, stash him and see how it goes. But realistically, there's probably better options. Maybe that's an opportunity just to take a swing on a young player, on a rookie, like something like Matt Coronado, if you wanted to, or
that'd be a great, good one to start with.
Yeah, there's options out there.
The kid that made Boston, what was his name? He got an assist tonight.
Poitras.
Yeah, he'd be a good one to pick too.
Pavel Zacha, like he's gonna play. I don't know what he did tonight, but he's gonna play top line, top power play. Have exposure to David Pastrnak.
New Hook for Montreal got 2 goals tonight. He's a center.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of options out there.
Goal Caulfield had a goal tonight, Bruce.
And 1 call back.
Yeah, he's on his way to 50. He's going to do it.
He'll do it.
Gonna do it. Okay, yeah. So there you go. And if you want Gringo Golfer, if you're listening, like I said earlier, just go back and check out the episode we released last night. That's going to give some more waiver wire targets for this week and beyond. So give that a listen. This one here is from our buddy Charlie P., who is a regular listener and follows us on Instagram. Andrei Svechnikov or Filip Forsberg. Also Nikolai Ehlers or Filip Forsberg. So, Tyler, I'll go to you first because I know you're a Svech guy.
Yeah, Svechnikov over Forsberg, for sure. And then probably Forsberg over Ehlers based on ice time. And I mean, one guy's going to play first line, one guy's third line, second line maybe. So,
yeah. Bruce, how do you see it?
Same thing. I'd take Svechnikov over Forsberg, although Forsberg is healthy right now. Svechnikov isn't, so I guess that would be one flip or one going the other way. But yeah, Ehlers I'm running away from until I can actually see him putting up points. I'm running away from him because I get burned by him too once, so not high on him.
Yeah, I think after seeing what's transpired here with his deployment in the preseason, I have very little to no interest in Nikolai Ehlers, given his injury history and all the rest of it. But yeah, between Svechnikov and Forsberg, I think in a Bangers League, Svechnikov might be the easy choice here, given that he's hit 2+ hits per game in each of the past 3 seasons. He has struggled to stay healthy, which is the concern for me, like you had mentioned, Bruce. But yeah, he's played at a 70-point pace or better in 3 of the past 4 seasons as well. The only thing I like about Forsberg that maybe Svechnikov doesn't get is, like, Forsberg is a bona fide power play 1 guy. He's always going to play on the top left wing spot. Svechnikov kind of gets bounced around. Like, sometimes he's playing first line, sometimes he's playing third line. Sometimes he's on power play 1, sometimes he's not. So I'd have some concerns with his deployment just for consistency's sake. Whereas Forsberg, I think, has comparable shot rate and doesn't hit as much, but I think he hit 1.7 times per game last season.
It's not too bad for a forward.
No, it's actually pretty good. So I think Forsberg, for me, there's some value there too. But I'd probably still just give Svechnikov the slight edge, and then I'd go Forsberg, and then, as Bruce said, run away very fast from Nikolai Ehlers. This is from Sasha Lagarde. So, Sasha, thanks for listening. Thanks for submitting another question. In a league that holds 4 defenseman spots, is it worth rostering 5 to 6 defensemen in order to maximize those slots? Or is it better to use the extra bench slots on forwards? General question has been asked by some of my students who are getting into fantasy hockey. Bruce, I'll go to you on this one first.
For me, generally, I always carry 1 extra defenseman, and then I leave the rest for forwards, and I'll carry an extra goaltender too. So I'll carry 3 goalies. The odd time I'll carry 4, but mostly 3 goalies, 1 extra defenseman, and the rest go to the forward ranks. Is how I generally do it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I usually, like, if I have slots for 6, I just have 6. The rest of them are filled out with forwards. I didn't do that to start this year, but generally I try and do that because once you start getting deeper in your slotting for defensemen in 5 and 6, they're not doing a lot for you at that point. I'd rather have a forward.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think I kind of agree with what Bruce is saying. Like, if I've got 2 goaltender slots, I've got a third goaltender, and with the option to maybe stream a 4th, Bruce, like, it just to optimize games, I would do something like that. I'll never carry 4 goalies if I can help it. But in terms of defensemen, I'd like to have at least 1 extra defenseman. I would rarely have 2 extra defensemen. But I don't think you can just carry 4 D-men and then fill out the rest of your roster with forwards, because I think you'll have a hard time optimizing games played. Like, you'll just have a logjam at the forward position, right? So you have to then at that point decide who's sitting and who's playing, particularly on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays when the lineup is full.
Yeah, it's exactly. I'd have trouble sitting forwards and sitting there seeing, there's 2 defensive spots. Like, I had trouble with that. I'd want to have some kind of a mix to make sure that I'm using all the slots that I can.
I mean, if you can't get a high-end scoring defenseman, get somebody who's going to put up, 2 or 3 points just from hits and blocks and shots and maybe an assist here and there, right? Like
Exactly.
2 or 3 points is better than nothing.
That's how I survived last year on defensemen when half my defensemen all got hurt. So
there you go. Excuse me. All right, this one is from Patty, or at Marine Mom on Twitter, or X. Lukas, Reichel, or Gabe Vilardi for the rest of the season. It's a non-keeper, 14-team, head-to-head league that counts goals, assists, shots on goal, blocks, and hits.
Devin, you want to go first?
I guess I'm going to go first because you guys already know my answer, but it's got to be Gabe Vilardi. And that was my initial thought even before Taylor Hall went down, because Lukas Reichel may see some additional time with Connor Bedard at this point. But I think for me, it's still Gabriel Vilardi playing next to Mark Scheifele and Kyle Connor on the top line, 5-on-5. He's going to get power play one time. I think he's a breakout candidate this year. I think we had him for 67 points this year, Bruce. I think he can he could hit that if he stays healthy and given that deployment. So for me, it'd be Gabe Vilardi. What do you guys think?
Yeah, same thing. I mean,
yeah,
that one to me is easy. Has to be Vilardi.
Yeah, I was saying it's just Vilardi is, like you said, there's a lot more talent around him than, I guess, if Reichel does play with Bedard, he'll get a little bit of a Bedard bump, but not as much as Vilardi will playing with the line mates he's got there. Outside of Bedard, there's not a whole lot in the first two lines for Chicago.
Yeah, I think there's just more certainty around Vilardi. Like it's tough with young players, especially in a bad team like Chicago. And the only thing, like, you could maybe try to make an argument would be in a keeper situation or a dynasty situation, but Vilardi he's still just 24 years old.
Yeah, even then it's tough.
He's a young guy. And he's going to hit that 200 game breakout threshold this year, which, if you're a follower of Dobber hockey, you know what I'm talking about, but he's right there. So 7, is that from tonight?
What's that?
It looks like Gabe Vilardi has 7 shots on goal. I don't know if that's this is from Frozen Tools. I don't know if that's accurate. Just gonna check the box scores here if I can. Jets, Vilardi. Yes, yeah. Gabriel Vilardi has 7 shots on goal tonight.
There you go. Devin made a good pick. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, I surprised myself even, Bruce. Hey, Brock Boeser had a hat trick tonight, and Vilardi's got 7 shots on goal so far. So that's
the only 2 guys in your team that are doing anything.
Yeah, and I have Connor McDavid on my roster. Go figure, hey.
David's got a power play assist.
Okay, he did something. Yeah. So there you go. That's the answer to that question. So thanks, Patty, for submitting that one. Appreciate it. Keep those questions coming. We're happy to answer them. This one is from Rylan, or at Sports Only on Twitter or X. I have an empty roster spot in a bangers category league with no plus, minus, or face-off wins. What's the outlook for Nick Paul, Filip, and Chandler Stephenson? Are any of them sneaky pickups? Bruce, I'll go to you first. Okay. So Tyler Ziegler. Actually.
It's because I already did it. It's because I already did it yesterday.
Yeah, I would say Stephenson too. Chytil has got too many people in front of him. Nick Paul possibly. Like, Paul was off to a good start here last night. He got 2 goals last night. But I think if you're looking over the season long, I think Stephenson's probably there. Stephenson, sorry, will be the one.
Where's he playing right now? Is he playing with Stone?
He was playing with Stone on the second line. Oops.
And the first power play.
And the first power play.
That's what I was going to check, if he's still on the first power play.
Yeah, and I think, like, to me, he seems the most dependable or the most consistent of the 3. Like, he's coming off 64 and 65 point campaigns. 2 points, 1 goal, 18.5 minutes time on ice, 4:12 power play time on ice. Seems like a good bet there. To your point, though, Bruce, like Nick Paul, and we joked about it. I had him in our Hackstars post on Twitter this morning, but people were joking about a Nick Paul rush. on the waiver wire, and
Yeah.
I think there's probably some truth to that. Looking at what he did in Game 1, he is center left wing eligible. He's just 9% rostered. 2 power play goals, 1 assist, 3 shots on goal, 6 shot attempts, 5 individual scoring chances, 4, 16-12 time on ice, and 6.5 minutes on the power play. Just about 80% power play share last night.
Very nice.
Yeah. So I guess you could maybe make a case for Nick Paul too, but I think, Tyler, I'd probably agree with you. Chandler Stephenson has consistently put up 60-plus point seasons. So
Yeah, Paul's just a little too streaky.
Yeah.
For me, whereas Stevenson's consistent.
It's a good pickup for the Knights from picking him up from Washington, I think is where he came from, because he was kind of toiling in the bottom 6 in Washington. And I don't think he's left the top 6 since he's made it to Vegas.
Yeah, and then like Filip. So where's he playing right now, Bruce? Because like he was on that kid line last year with Kako and Lafreniere.
Playing second line center between Panarin and Lafreniere.
See, and I actually really like that deployment if he can stick there.
And then he's got second center on the second power play.
Yeah. I mean, I'd probably say Stephenson, Paul, and then Chytil for now.
Yeah, I'd go with that.
All right, and then we got one more question here. This is from, I believe it was Mark on Twitter. I'm just going to look at this. Yeah, Mark. And I apologize, Mark. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce your last name. There's a lot of Z's in there and CKIs. So I'm just not going to happen tonight. But thank you for the question. Appreciate it. His question to us was actually concerning Leon Draisaitl. So I have Leon Draisaitl, and how much longer will he be a beast?
Forever.
He's never going to stop. He is inevitable.
Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop.
Exactly.
Yeah, he said
when his contract's over, he'll stop.
You know, even then he probably won't stop.
No, he'll go back to Germany and continue.
Exactly.
He'll drink wine before the game and go out and just
wine,
dummy a bunch
beer.
of yeah.
Yager will come over from the Czech Republic and play with him too.
Yeah.
2 guys with huge butts just protecting the puck and scoring a pile of goals.
Yeah, exactly what I was thinking. Absolutely.
Exactly what you're thinking. You know what? He references butt himself, so I'm just saying what Draisaitl is. It's on the record, man.
It is now.
Well, it was before. It was before. I just reiterated it. Anyway, so he said, who would you trade for now or later before he starts regressing? So I guess the first thing is just establish Leon Draisaitl is not going to regress anytime soon, barring a major catastrophic injury. Because I don't even know how old he is. How old is he right now? 20, 28?
No, I don't think he's that old. He is, where is Edmonton?
27.
Oilers.
27.
Yeah, 27.
But he'll be turning 28 on the 27th of October, it looks like. So, but no, like he's just coming into his prime. Like he's and elite level players like this, Tyler, and you tell me if I'm wrong, but they have the ability to play at a high level for a long time, like well into their 30s.
The game that he plays, like he can not even be able to skate, which we've seen in the playoffs a couple of years ago. And he can still put up almost as many points as McDavid could with the way McDavid can skate. So, I mean, he could be 35 to 40 and just sit there and take one-timers from the goal line and dish pucks.
Yep.
Like his game isn't built on foot speed, so.
I agree. Bruce, what do you think?
You look at Pavelski, you look at even Blake Wheeler still playing, Crosby, Ovechkin, they're all in their late 30s and they're still producing. Some people are saying Crosby could hit 100 points already and he's 36, 37.
36.
Like, so Ovi's only 72 goals away from Gretzky's record, so I think he'll get there. Draisaitl will be around for a very long time.
And the thing is too with Draisaitl is he's such a smart player. Like, he just understands the game, and as you had said, Tyler, he was able to adapt his style of play based on his injury, right? So didn't go well with a high ankle sprain. He figured it out, and he's still, what do you have, 17 points in 13 games?
Well, it was ridiculous. Like, you never even would have known he had an ankle sprain. Well, you see it in his skating, but he said he knows where to go and he knows what to do. It's
he had 32 points in 16 games in 2021, 2022 in the playoffs.
Yeah, and he only plays from 1/3 of the ice anyway, so doesn't really have to get around.
Fair enough. Just really quick though, if you guys, we got a minute and a half here, and then we're gonna call it a night. But if you had to make a trade, let's say you had a crystal ball and you knew exactly when Leon Draisaitl was going to start going downhill. Tyler, who's a player you'd trade Draisaitl for right now?
Jack Hughes, maybe?
That's a good one.
Just based on age. The fact that he could kind of push that maybe 110 number. I mean, that might be it.
I like Jack Hughes a lot, and the age. Tage Thompson, maybe. Or Connor Bedard, but I don't think anyone's trading Connor Bedard for you, so.
That's where I would start. I would start with Bedard, and if that one says no, then work my way down to the other ones, but that's where I would start.
Okay.
Because this year Draisaitl will have more points than Bedard, but as Bedard plays more, that number is going to start balancing.
Yeah, eventually, for sure. Okay, guys, we got 15 seconds here. Thanks again for the good episode. If you want to follow us on Twitter at FHHacks or on Instagram, Fantasy Hockey Hacks, make sure you check out the website, fantasyhockeyhacks.com, and be sure to subscribe to our podcast on your directory of choice. Episodes Sunday night. Take care, guys.
Good night.
See you guys.